Hey everybody, it's Chief Meteorologist Brad Petovich here for SkiSoutheast.com, and we've gotten in a lull this week where temperatures have been kind of near average, but we haven't seen any big warm-ups or big cool-downs, and really no snow after what was a great week last week. But there are some interesting pattern changes next week, and I'm not 100% sure they're all good because it's an active storm track, but not necessarily the cold air there, which is kind of interesting, which I'll explain more here in a minute. But this weekend looks fabulous. So if you're going skiing this weekend or boarding, I mean, we've got high pressure building in, so pretty good snowmaking conditions. And this is the type of great weekend where you'll have no travel issues, blue skies, really nice weather. It will be kind of chilly, but not overly windy, not a ton of blowing snow. All the resorts should be able to make snow, and with grooming, I think it's going to look pretty spectacular Saturday into Sunday. Starting late Sunday, though, we've got our next system approaching from the west. And this one is a pretty warm system. I'll be honest with you. I do think we will see some snow up here in West Virginia maybe initially, but I think this all is going to change to rain at some point during this event. So I can't really tell you it's going to be all good news. Now what I'm going to show you here is what this event's going to do going through the weekend. As it approaches from the north and the west through the weekend, it's dry. Here comes that system. You see that little bit of snow up there in West Virginia, into areas up into Maryland. And then you see the rain kind of take over. So it kind of really messes things up starting Monday. So the weekend looks great. I don't think any issues. But Monday, I think we're going to have some rain and some warm temperatures. But that cold air could be hanging on up here for some of the resorts up in here in Virginia, West Virginia. And again, I'm plotting the resorts with those little mountain tops. So you see the West Virginia resorts have a little bit of wintry mix. But down here in North Carolina, it looks like most of those are going to be rain. Now on the backside, it could change over to snow again on Tuesday. So there's an outside chance. I was almost going to put snow on Tuesday, but I'm a little wary how much that's going to be, but it moves through pretty quickly. Now, the middle of the week system, we've got a second system. Now this one has a little bit colder air to work with. I'm going to stop this right here. And if you look carefully, all the resorts from basically southern Pennsylvania down into North Carolina for the most part should be all snow. And up here in Virginia, West Virginia, the resorts there look like they potentially could have some significant snow depending on the track of this low. Now the low track is key because if you look carefully, it looks like the low is going to crank up here. If this should shift to the south a little bit, that could pull in some much colder air, but that also could kind of cancel out some of the snow further north. So this is a trend to watch for the middle of the week. So this is that Wednesday, Thursday time frame. But either way, once the low cranks up on the coast, you see that low? I mean, that looks like a pretty potent low. The backside looks like some pretty good northwest flow for all the resorts. So the middle of the week, end of week, next week looks pretty interesting because the storm track is a little bit colder than the storm track early in the week. And just to show you how much snow we're talking about, and again, I'm going to wait for the plot. I tried to plot all of the ski resorts in the United States here. I should probably have filtered out some of the other ones because it takes a second to populate. But you'll see I put little snowboarders on there for all of the resorts here. And I'm going to go through Tuesday. Notice not a whole lot of snow. You see some of the resorts up there in West Virginia heading up towards Wisp. But then watch what happens going into the middle of the week. And I'm going to stop this. Let me stop this Friday morning. Actually, let me back this up. I'm going to stop this next Friday morning. We'll stop this at 7 a.m. I'm going to play this so I can zoom in. So let's zoom in real carefully. And you can see, Cataloochee, a little bit of snow heading up towards all the resorts around Beach, Sugar Mountain, Appalachian, and then going up to the north, you can see heading up past Winter Place there, and then heading up towards obviously Snowshoe getting clobbered, Canaan Valley, Timberline. So some pretty good snowfall in some of these resorts in Virginia, a distinct possibility based on that storm track that we're seeing for the middle of the week. So I think for the first time in a while, some of the Virginia resorts might end up getting some pretty good snow if that track can stay where it's at. If not, we might be a little problematic. It might be shifting a little bit too far away. So here's a quick look at the extended forecast. And again, next week there's some big question marks. I do think good snow making over the weekend. That's why I said this weekend looks pretty awesome. A little bit of snow on that Monday system, but notice I don't have snow making. The big question marks start to rise on Wednesday. I think it's really more of a Thursday, Friday system, but don't be surprised if we start shading in Wednesday, maybe early next week or after this weekend, starting to see some colder trends in the forecast guidance. So that's the latest for this week. No snow for the weekend, but plenty of cold air and really a great weekend. The slopes have tons of snow. Beach and Sugar Mountain, by the way, here in North Carolina, my home resorts, Both have topped 50 and 55 inches already for the season, which is impressive because we haven't seen that in a whole season for about 3 years. So it's been pretty impressive to see that we're already topping some of the seasonal totals from the last 2 winters. As always, keep thinking snow. The pattern next week could be very interesting. It's definitely wet. The question marks are going to be cold.